Hi, my name is Lisa Baudouin. Welcome to Lisa's chat room. Today I'm going to be talking about my Fitbit Charge 3 tracker and how I got the light to come back on. Before I do, I have to disclose to you that, first of all, I'm not an expert in anything. So anything I share with you, if you try it, use it, or buy it, you do so at your own risk and peril. Secondly, the reason I got this tracker to come on is because I followed certain protocols within the manual, and I just happened to think this thing through. So I'm going to walk through those things with you, but unfortunately, if you have a Fitbit that is broken, or if you don't have a phone that is up to date with the operating system and things like that, this isn't probably going to work. However, you can try it. And again, if you try it, use it, or buy it, you do so at your own risk and peril. The other thing is, I'm not an affiliate with Fitbit at all. Anything I do here, I don't get paid or compensated. So I wanted to make that perfectly clear. So I'm a child abuse survivor and an advocate coach. And what that means is that I share my theories and my therapies and even remedies with others on my YouTube channel, which is called Lisa's Chat Room. And I have several playlists. The first playlist is actually about violation. It's my take on how the mindset of a violator works as far as patterns wise. It's a pretty good platform to start to use when you want to try to counteract violence and violation. It covers not just violation from people, but also substance abuse and activity abuse. So if you're addicted to something or you know someone that is, it's a really great playlist to watch. I will be wrapping that up in the end of this year, which is 2023. I'm hoping to have it wrapped up. But right now, I am going to be in process of creating workbooks and also online workshops and maybe even some in-person workshops. So check that playlist out. The next one is called Therapies for a Better Me. Due to the child abuse, I suffer from multiple mental conditions. And because of that, it's very difficult to describe them and work with them. And all my life, I've pretty much struggled. So I created this Therapies for a Better Me. And again, a presentation, it's in a playlist platform that describes how I have had to learn how to process things to get that ability. And then how I also deal with issues which I say are out on my mental ocean. And so the mental conditions I call mental storms, and one of them is called complex PTSD. And to me, it's like a hurricane. So when I have that going on, when I'm triggered, what I do, I call it changing direction. And I will, first of all, try to optimize my nutrition and get my exercise in and everything like that, and stay very focused and aware of what's going on. But also too, I'll just change direction. I'll go do something that helps me to at least try to see the end of the storm. Because when you're in a storm, you can't see the end, right? So I talk more about that in that playlist on those videos. So I invite you to go watch that as well. And again, I'll be making workbooks out of that, hopefully by the end of 2024. But they're free to watch on the YouTube channel here. So please like, subscribe, and share them with your friends and family. But the reason I'm doing this is because I also have a product playlist, and part of the therapy that I do when I change direction is to try to do problem solving. And I've sort of become a savant in that because I've worked in business and in the healthcare field, and I've kind of meshed them together to create my playbooks and to process things, to think. And I've just gotten this ability to problem solve. So I like to share things with you. I like to share products that I use, which I don't get endorsed for those products through those products. Just sharing tips and tricks with you that help me survive, hopefully helping you too, making it better for ourselves, right? That's where I came to and this is my Fitbit Charge 3. And I've had this since October 2018. It worked perfectly fine. And I paired it with my phone. And I also paired it with the Windows 10 app that was on Windows 10 on the internet. So it would sync up and I could see it on the computer and on my phone perfectly fine. I also use the long wristband because I use this on my ankle. So I strap it to my left ankle and I put this on the outer side of it, and it takes my heart rate perfectly fine. And I get, I think, a better statistical step. Everything seems to be more accurate to me. Anyway, that's my opinion. So everything was fine with it until about 2 years ago. I started monkeying around with the clock face and putting on new apps. And then all of a sudden, my device screen went black and I didn't know what to do. I kind of looked at some of the message boards back then, but honestly, it's on my ankle. So I really don't think about it too much, but I would like to every once in a while see it and be able to take it off my ankle and do specific exercises or let it know that I'm doing something specific. The thing is I really like this product. It's a good tracker. It's got all the nice features that I needed. And I'm going to go through some of those features with you today, but it had all the things that I like. The thing is it just dimmed. Now I'm going to walk you through what happened last week and then how I got the device lights to come on. But first off, I want to suggest that you keep notes. And there's a couple ways that you can do that. The first way would be to use a recipe card file. It's a really simple way to do it. You just put the date and then the issue and then whatever happened. This is a really good idea. You could keep it in a recipe card box and you could have little different organizers on it. Perfectly fine. For me, that's not big enough, but I do use this in my basement, and I use any kind of issue I have, I write it down because my thinking is I'm doing this for now. Everything is always for now. I'm fixing it for now. I'm getting the best I can get for now. It could be in another 6 months that my tracker just won't work. Don't know. But for now, this is what I'm doing to get it to work. And there's all different things that are happening, all different mechanisms that are going on within this thing. So I can't guarantee myself. I can't say, oh, now it'll work forever. Nope. It's only going to work for now. And that's one of the phrases I say. The other one is if, then, else. So if it doesn't work, then I'll try to do this. Otherwise, I'll try to do that. That's database coding as well. So I brought that into my life to help me deal with things. So you can use the recipe card box. But really what I do is I have binders. I have playbooks, and I have playbooks for the dynamics of abuse. I have playbooks for therapies for a better me. I have playbooks for religion, for languages. I mean, I have dozens of them, but the one that I want to talk about here is I have a binder is for things like this, things that trip up. I put all my issues with my phones, my devices, my camera, my computer, my printers, all that goes in there. I 3-hole punch it and I put it into that playbook. So my suggestion is you follow suit. First of all, you might forget because in 6 months time, you might forget just like me. I mean, that's just normal, but also too, then you know what you've done. And then you can say, okay, this is the choice I have to make now. If it's not working, I can't get it to work. I've exhausted all my options. I'm going to have to go out and buy a new device. That's what you would do. So now I'm going to walk you back to what happened last week and then bring you forward to how I got the brightness back on my device. So last week I started searching the Fitbit message boards, and I was looking for anybody that had a similar issue with a black or dim screen. And actually what it's called is a dim screen, but a lot of people refer to it as black screen. So I did find quite a few posts about it from a few years ago, a couple of years back. And most of the advice from the Fitbit customer service people was to reset your device. Now I found basically 3 different ways to reset. There's probably more, but that's what I saw in these posts. And I think one is a soft reset, one is a hard reset, and one is a factory reset. The factory reset, I think what happens is the firmware downloads and then it resets. It actually shuts off and reboots the system. I think that's what's going on. Can't quote me, but it kind of sounds like it by the vibrations. And you see this line going through. And there are other ways you can go out and search it, but for time wise, I'm not going to actually do it. But I did try it and it didn't work. So then the other thing was people were saying that it could have been due to replacing the clock face. And I had done that. I had changed out my clock face. So I did try to change it back to see if that would help, and it didn't. Now, the caveat to this is I should have thought that through a little bit more. It could have been that possibly had I defaulted back to the original clock face, that would have worked. Not sure. That is gone, right? What can I do now? But I'm just telling you that in case you want to try that. So I did try to change the clock face out, but that didn't work either. So I was really kind of at a loss. So then I came up with the brainiac idea of why don't I unpair the device from the apps and then try to reset it and then try to pair it back up. So that's what I did. I went onto my Android phone into the Fitbit application and I just deleted the Charge 3 from the application itself. And that also deletes it from the Windows 10. Then I reset it and then I saw nothing. It was still dim. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to walk you through the whole process of what I've done to correct this problem of getting that light back on. I contacted Fitbit customer service myself. A couple of times I've contacted them. One person walked me through the reset. It wasn't the factory reset though. It was just the 8-second reset, I think it was. I have the notes for it, so I'll post it here. But that didn't work because I didn't have a warranty, and I'm not even sure there is a warranty anymore on this device. They offered me a coupon of 35% off my next purchase, which in this video, I'm just going to show you how I got it to go bright. But the way that I'm going to show you is through the device itself. And there are a couple areas where, in just like any other application, it seems like there's duplicates. There's multiple areas. So that might be an issue. Also, too, I'm not finding anything on the apps themselves in the Windows 10 yet or in the phone app. I have the Android, so I'm not sure. I'm going to try to make another video. If I find some solutions, I will make another video and post it out there and put number 2, and I'll link it to this one. This video, though, it's just basically about going onto the device to get your screen to come on. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the next couple of minutes. First, we have to go through the actual menu items of this device so that you can know what you need to do. The next thing we're going to take a look at is the actual Fitbit Charge 3 manual itself. Now, this is the one I have. I think it's the only one. I'm not sure. You can't quote me on it, but I've gone through this manual several times and I've highlighted areas of concern, areas that I really need to look at things, because not only do I want to know how to use the device, I want to make sure it's a safe device. So there's all kinds of information about that at the end of the manual that you can read as far as the sensors. And so you should be aware of that when you buy a device like this. Thing for me though is I don't have a warranty. And this is a device from 2018. So it's highly doubtful. You could check with them and see, and maybe you could get the warranty and they could guide you through more things. So here, this is what I wanted to talk about first. It says fully charged 3 has a battery life of up to 7 days. Battery life and charge cycles vary. And then here it says to plug the charging cable into a USB port on the computer, a UL certified USB wall charger, or another low energy charging device. This is really important. Again, you can short circuit out your device if you don't use it according to the instructions. So last to look at on this manual is the actual navigation of the device itself. I'm going to have the device here. It's going to probably be a little hard for you to see, but I'm going to walk you through it with the diagram as well. So here we've got the navigation button, and if it's facing you, that button should be on the left side, and the wristband, this buckle, should be on the top. That's how I know that it's the correct orientation for me to manipulate. Here, if I press that navigation button for a second, I go to the clock face. If I press it again, it hides. If I press it again, it comes on. If I leave it, within 30 to 60 seconds, it goes off, and I always give it 1 minute to let it go off completely, just to be on the safe side. If I pan down, if I swipe down, what's going to happen is I'm going to get my email and my text notifications. That's what's going to happen here. So I will do that. I have no notification. Now I can either pan back up or I can click the button. So I click the button. Now, if I pan up, I'm going to get these. These are what I call the activity stats. And they're just basically all your numbers of what you've done for that day. The next thing is when I plan from right to left, I'm going to get my gallery app. All right. And so I'm going to do that. I usually swipe on the bottom, by the way. I swipe right here. That's really important for you to know. The thing is you only see one gallery app here where I have many, and you may too, with the final thing being the settings. That's what's really important for you to know, is that you might have more than one gallery app, because the final thing we're going to do is we're going to try to get to the settings button. So hold on, bear with me here. Just a few more things and then we'll be ready to figure this out. We'll work out of this together. But first, I wanted to show you what I've done is I've made a little diagram of my own personal device navigation. So if you look at it here, here's the clock face. And so here, if I turn on the clock face, that's that. If I sweep down, I'm going to get my email and text notifications. If I go back, I get the clock face. If I sweep up, all these are, it's very small, but those are all my activity or exercise stats, whatever you want to call it. I call it activity stats. Now, if I go back, and I could have clicked, Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe on the bottom part and I am going from right to left. You can see it right to left. There's the one black. There's the next black, relax and timers. Here's the next black, alarm and weather. And here's the next black, settings. So that's really, really important. Now, I checked out the Fitbit app on my Windows 10 and I could not find the information I was looking for gallery apps. And actually, that's going to take me some time to research. If I make another video and I find some more solutions, I'll put it in the next video. I'll put a link to that in the description below. But what I've done here, and this is what I'm going to show you, because I can get to those gallery apps in my Fitbit app on my phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my Fitbit app and I'm going to walk you through this step by step. It sounds complicated, but it's not. So just listen. I'm going to go to the top left and there is my profile icon and settings icon, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to click that. I'm going to go to charge 3 and I'm going to see these colorful pictures and one of them says gallery. I'm going to click that. Now, when gallery opens up, there's going to be 3 options. The first one is it's showing me my charge 3. It also, if you pan down, shows you your gallery apps, so you can take a look at them as well. However, it doesn't show you any kind of toggles or anything to do as far as I'm looking for some way to change my settings on here. That's what I'm actually looking for, to change those gallery apps setting here. And I haven't found it yet. Again, if I find them, I will make another video. However, I'm going to go to the next tab, and that's the clocks. Now here is where I changed out my clock. So you can elect to try to do that to change the brightness of your screen. It's totally up to you. Again, I don't know where the default is. I'd have to contact the company and ask them, or I'd have to do some more searching. If I find an answer, I will again make a video. The one I'm interested in right now is the apps toggle. So I'm going to tap on that. They're not in alphabetical order and they're not really in any order, which doesn't make any sense to me. Sort of nonsensical to me. I would think they would be in alphabetical order. However, that didn't seem to matter as far as the sequencing of these gallery apps. So let me explain this. Here I've got my Fitbit app on my Android, and I've got 7 different gallery apps: timers, alarms, settings, relax, exercise, agenda, and weather. You notice settings is the 3rd one down. However, when I go to this little diagram that I made of my Fitbit device, it shows that the settings comes up in the last menu. So each page per se has 2 apps. Now, this is something that you're going to end up having to check out. Once I get done showing you this, it'll make a lot more sense. We're finally getting to where we're going to make it where you can see your screen. I'm going to walk you through it, and then I'm going to show it to you, because what I'm doing is I'm pretending that I'm doing this blindly. Now, the thing I've already done also too is I have reset the device and seen the smiley face, because if the smiley face is on there, that tells me there can be brightness in that screen. That's the main point. If you can't see a smiley face, the chances are it's a bad device. Not sure, you'd have to have someone take a look at it or whatever, look for some other solutions. But for this, if you've seen the smiley face, well, the chances are that the screen is not damaged. It just needs to be toggled back. So this is what I did. I let it sit for a minute. I put my middle finger and my thumb right here, and I put my index finger here, and I let it rest. I clicked the clock face navigation button once, and then I swiped 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And when you look at the clock face, just pretend it's split in half, and then that upper half right in the middle is where the settings are, because that's how they are. It's kind of like the screen split in half, and one is here and one is here. They're not way up and way down. So try to tap like dead center in the middle upper half. And once you open up the settings, there's going to be 2 options: the brightness and the vibrations. And so the brightness is the one you want. And you're going to click the brightness one time. You're going to tap it. And what's going to happen, it's going to go to normal. And all of a sudden, you're going to see your screen. If you tap it again, it's going to go to auto. And if you tap it again, it's going to go to dim. That's correct. You've got it now. Your screen is on dim and you can't see it. And there's really no way to toggle it on except for this way, as far as I know. So again, it's what can I do now, right? That's what we're doing. As far as like, there we go. I lost you for a second. As far as I know, there is no toggle for this in the apps. I looked for it And that's why I was looking at the phone app and I was looking into the settings to see if there was anything for brightness and then I could change the brightness. That is really what should happen. Don't you let me know in the comments if I should reach out to Fitbit and tell them and maybe send them this video and they can watch it and maybe fix this. I mean, I really like this. This is my favorite. And I don't really want to get a different one. Why should I? It works fine. It's kind of sad, but this is what happens. And the thing is they've got so many different brands and they've got so many different things going on. They got different kinds of phone apps and they got different kind of platforms and things can happen and trip up. So the problem here, of course, is that there's no way to toggle that on without knowing this. So that's why it's really important to have your little diagram here and to be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and know exactly what to do, because I've already accidentally hit it off again, but this time I hit it off in a different area. So just really quickly, I'm going to mention this. There's another problem that I noticed. And what it is when you hold your navigation button for 2 seconds, another menu comes on. This is called the quick settings menu. There's a D&D, which says do not disturb. And then there's a sleep. You can't see it real well, but there's a sleep. And then there's a screen wake. The screen wake is so that you can twist your wrist and it'll wake up. That does work. But when you push your sleep, guess what happens? It toggles off to dim again. It's a lot to try to explain. And really, it only takes a couple of minutes to explain it, but there's so much background to it. So here, when I share my screen, I hid information about that quick settings. And you press the home 2 seconds. And here's the things that it talks about. There's a thing that says you can't turn on do not disturb and sleep mode at the same time. And then it says, when you have the do not disturb setting on, reminders to move do not cause the tracker to vibrate or the screen to turn on. So then your screen doesn't turn on. Then there's something here as far as like notifications and vibrations, they're set to shut off. The screen's brightness is set to dim. Turning your wrist won't cause the tracker's screen to turn on. Sleep mode doesn't automatically turn off. What happens is you press that button for 2 seconds and that quick setting comes up this way and there's your sleep. You can kind of see it. So what I would do is I would have diagrams of the face themselves. And that way, if it dims where you can't see it, you can navigate over to select these 2 things. So far, those are the 2 things that I found have the issues. Are there more? I don't know. I just happened to come across it because of the way I think. I'm like, okay, let me try this. It just was nonsensical to me that the smiley face was on and yet the brightness wasn't working, because to me, it just didn't make any sense. So hopefully I have helped you. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, watch the playlist. Please share with your family and your friends. That's it for this video. So please stay safe and stay healthy. And hopefully I will see you here again back in Lisa's chat room.